A few days ago, I got back from this awesome camp called Wheatstone, and right now I'm wearing my Wheatstone shirt. Okay, the link is going to be down there. It's wheatstoneacademy.com, I believe. Anyhow, at this camp, we talked a lot about ideas. And we are able to have these small group discussions with other people and talk about Plato's Meno, and beauty, and art. And we had all these really good discussions, which I loved. And because of my experience at Wheatstone, I'm prompted to ask a question, and that is, how do I find an intellectual community? Now, first I'm going to explain what makes me think that an intellectual community is so important, and then I'm going to talk about a few different avenues for getting that. So this idea of intellectual community is basically a group of people that you can talk about ideas with. Now, why would you want to talk about ideas? What the Wheatstone camp really taught me a lot about was that in order to understand God better, in order to live better, you have to continually learn more. And I had kind of fallen into a rut with my thinking that I thought you could just seek God, or just search out to know about God and seek Him and truth through experiences, without realizing that there's also a lot to be learned from the knowledge of the past and from the knowledge of others, that there are some things that really do need to be thought about. You can't just live them. And so that doesn't mean that the experiences that I've been having over the summer have been bad. In fact, I think they're awesome. Right now I'm in the middle of another one, woo, which is why I'm not at home. But I think I still want to continue learning more. I want to be someone who thinks, someone who's able to analyze culture, understand ideas, and hopefully I learn to think like an adult and to continue growing. So that's the plan. Now, why do I need an intellectual community? What I realized is that I have questions, and I often have questions, but usually those questions are about myself, not about ideas. I don't ask the questions until I have to. And so when I have a bunch of other people asking questions with me, then I become committed to finding out the truth of the matter. Not just to find out enough truth to satisfy me to live a few more days, but to actually understand. And when I'm in discussions with other people, it's not just like they're there to answer my questions. By discussing it with them, I raise more questions, and we are actually able to come to a fuller grasp of the topic. And that's something that's really hard to do by yourself. Like, you just get tired of thinking and thinking when there's no real apparent point. I mean, we had a discussion about Plato, as I said, and the book Meno talks a lot about what is virtue and is virtue teachable. And that's something that by myself I would simply say, well, be virtuous, follow God, and you'll be good. But because I was talking with other people, I realized that there's a lot more to it than I had originally realized. So talking with other people really helps broaden your perspectives, which is kind of the purpose of a year of questions, or at least that's one of the purposes of it. And so that brings me to one of the first examples that I have about where I could find this kind of intellectual community. And the Year of Questions community is something that I'm not quite sure if it's more of an intellectual thing or more of an entertainment thing. Perhaps to some of your chagrin, I make kind of boring videos because I talk about ideas. And if I had more software, or if I was more committed to this project, then maybe I'd make them more fancy or more interesting. So I'm sorry if my videos are boring. But I also want to, I wanted to use this as a chance to talk about ideas and to get answers. And so, I don't know. I don't think it really will work unless other people want to find answers too. But it's not to say that entertaining videos are bad. In fact, they're lots of fun. So I think this can be part of an intellectual community, but I really don't think I'm going to get into a very deep understanding or a very deep answer to these questions. It's mostly about, this is what I've been thinking about, can I have your opinions, and then I continue to process it on my own. It doesn't seem like the whole group of people in a Year of Questions are committed to finding answers to every single one of these questions. I don't think that's a bad thing, but that's just what I think. And I think blogs are the same way. I have a blog, lots of my friends have blogs, and they're good chances to share your own personal thoughts. But the one who's most committed to getting answers is the person who writes the blog. But blogs are a little bit different because blogs are not just an integration, they're not just ideas, it's also integrated with emotions and with friendship. And perhaps an intellectual community should be like that. Perhaps it shouldn't just be a place where you talk about ideas. It should also be a place where you have friends and where you are able to share in like a community of believers, or at least a community of friends. Which kind of relates to a question we had on Sunday from, I don't know what his weekday name was, but it was one Sunday about community. So that's that. There's other things I've been thinking about, like getting a Facebook account. Apparently, I could use Facebook to discuss things, but I'm not sure I would want to. It's really hard to discuss ideas and to live life. It's so hard to be plugged in to the internet all the time when I really just want to live where I am. And so that brings us to the last option, which is college. I've been thinking a lot about college lately. And what I think I want is I want a college where I can find people who want to find answers, or who will prompt me to ask questions, because I'm kind of a lazy person by myself. Like, not lazy in how I get work done, but lazy in how I think, or I can be. And so I really want to go to a college that encourages thinking, and where I can find people to talk about ideas with. I don't know if that should be kind of isolated, and if it should just be, here's a discussion group, or I don't know if I should try to make friends and discuss everything with them, and love them, and share life with them. I think that would be ideal. And I'm kind of close to it right now in the internet world, but I do kind of wish that it was in person. So that's what I have, and this is one question where I really would like your input. And I don't know if it's too much to expect that everyone is trying to find the answer with me, but I like a lot of the people who are watching this. Even if I don't like you, that's only because I don't know you. And I would like answers, because I really do wonder how to continue thinking and continue growing and continue seeking God.